A mother's love is the strongest love on earth. Only a mother loves her child in spite of everything. Only a mother will never betray her child. Only a mother will sincerely and selflessly protect her child until her last breath. But unfortunately, very often mothers care so much about the fate of their children that they do not hear the true desires of their children. They believe that they know what's best for their kids. This is good when the baby is still little and is just taking their first steps in this world when they cannot do without their mother's support and care. But what if a mother tries to control her grown children? What if a mother cannot accept the fact that her child is independent and can decide for themselves what to do and when? And so it happened in our story today about Victoria, whose mother, having good intentions, attempted to prevent her daughter from making a mistake, but ended up completely destroying her happiness. Victoria was in her last year of university when a new student from another city appeared in their class. His name was Andrew. It was love at first sight. They spent all their free time together. They did their homework together, studied for exams together, walked together, and attended parties together. Victoria loved Andrew dearly and looked forward to every date. They made plans for their lives together, dreamed of how they would live together after graduation, and even talked about a wedding. Everyone around them were sincerely happy for the young people, except for one person, Victoria's mom. Andrew was not in her plans for the life of her daughter. A long time ago, she secretly decided that her only daughter should get married to her best friend's son. Both mothers dreamed about this since their kids were young, and when Andrew appeared in Victoria's life, her mother disliked him right away. She tried to find flaws in the young man and convey them to her daughter, but Victoria would not listen. When the young people graduated, Andrew was sent to another city to practice. Before leaving, he proposed to Victoria, and she agreed immediately. Her mother resisted this union with all her might. Andrew left for a month to practice, and Victoria started preparing for their wedding. She happily went shopping, choosing a dress and shoes, making the guest list, and deciding on which restaurant to celebrate the most important event in her life. The month was coming to an end, and the girl was looking forward to the return of her lover. On the appointed day, she rushed to the train station to meet him, but he was not on the train. The girl stood at the station for a long time in hopes that Andrew would appear, but he did not come. He did not return to her. In frustration, the girl returned home. The next day, at the same time, she again went to the station, hoping he simply did not catch his train and would return on the next one. But he still was not there. For a whole week, she went every day to meet the train, but Andrew never came. She tried to find him through mutual acquaintances and attempted to reach his medical practice, but to no avail. Andrew seemed to have disappeared without a trace. Grief overtook Victoria. All her plans for a happy future simply collapsed in an instant. She did not know what to do next. Only her mother seemed to perk up. After all, now she had every chance to implement her plan for her daughter to marry her friend's son. One evening, she cooked dinner and invited her friend and her son over. The guests arrived, but Victoria did not come out. She loved Andrew very much and could not even think of replacing him with someone else. A year passed. Victoria got a job and quickly fell into a routine. Many men asked her out, but Victoria stayed loyal to Andrew even though she didn't know if she would ever see him again. She did not know what had happened, why he had disappeared so suddenly with no message. Then another year passed, and another. The son of her mother's friend enjoyed a gluttonous life and very soon passed away due to the excessive use of drugs and alcohol. Victoria's mother regretted that she wanted her daughter to marry such a man. Every year, Victoria had fewer and fewer suitors as she plunged into work. 12 years passed this way. Victoria's mother got very ill. Victoria took care of her sick mother and was very worried about her while she was at work. Once, having come home from work, Victoria found her mother in a very bad condition, and it was clear from the woman's face that she had been crying for a long time. Her mom called Victoria to sit next to her and requested that after she died, to find in her closet something that she had been hiding from her for 12 years. The woman cried, asking her daughter for forgiveness and begging her not to be angry. She so wanted her daughter's happiness, wanted a house full of grandchildren, and in the end, because of her daughter lived alone all those years. She was to blame for everything. Victoria, not understanding what her mother was talking about, attributed everything to the fact that the woman must be delirious. She hugged her mother tightly, told her how much she loved her, and did not take offense for anything. Her mother passed away that night. The girl, full of grief and despair, very quickly forgot about this last conversation with her mother. Now she was completely alone. She had no one else. And only a month later did she decide to sort through her mother's things. As she was doing so, she found an envelope turned yellow with time. Imagine her surprise when in the line of the return address, she saw the name of her beloved Andrew. It was a letter from him sent to her 12 years ago. With trembling hands, the girl unfolded the yellowed sheet of paper and read, "My beloved Victoria, I've been sent on a long business trip to the far north. Please let me know that you will wait for me. If you answer me this letter, I will know that you are waiting for me, and I will come for you. And if there is no response from you, it will mean that you've changed your mind and I will stay to work there after this trip. I really hope that I will receive a response from you. With great love, your Andrew." The girl read the letter over and over again. She could not believe that he was waiting for her. He did not disappear anywhere, and it was her mother who made it so that the letter did not reach her. At first, the woman wanted to tell her daughter everything, but she could not find the right moment. A year, then 2, and then several passed, and she thought that it didn't matter anymore. But she could not die with this secret, and therefore just before her death, she decided to open up to her daughter and ask her for forgiveness. Victoria did not know what to do. Find him? But so much time had passed. Leave it be? But then he would never know that she'd been waiting for him all these years. Using the return address, Victoria found the organization and their phone number and then decided to call. The phone was answered by a girl with a pleasant voice. Victoria timidly asked if she could talk to Andrew and gave his last name. "Andrew has not worked here for a long time. Now he heads our Western branch," the secretary said. "But if you wish, I can give you his phone number." Victoria could not believe her happiness as she wrote down the number. Without a moment's hesitation, she called that number. A girl answered the phone, but she was less friendly. For a long time, she did not want to connect Victoria with Andrew, as this was personal and not appropriate to discuss during business hours. After much persuasion, she gave up and connected them. After a minute of waiting, Andrew's familiar voice sounded in the receiver. Victoria hesitated. Then when she finally spoke up, he immediately recognized her voice and said he was still awaiting her reply. Victoria smiled through her tears. She could not believe that she finally found happiness after 12 years. The man came to get her, and in a month they were married. This is how fate tested the strength of their feelings. They carried their love through the years, regardless of circumstance. Friends, what do you think of this incredible story? Share your thoughts in the comments. And also click like and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, as we will definitely have more fascinating stories to share.